Hi, can I have your forms, please?
Sure.
Thank you. And your ID?
Here you go.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Can take this back. Yes. And you, thank you. Can I have your ID, please?
Here you go.
Thank you. Thank you. You can have this back. Welcome to the ECPE Speaking test. This test consists of 5 short stages that will last about 5 minutes each. As the test progresses, I will explain each stage and what you will need to do. So, for stage 1, let's spend a few minutes getting to know one another. My name is Loic, and I will be the first of 2 examiners, and this is my colleague, Konstantina. What's your name?
My name's John.
And you?
My name is Georgia.
Right. Georgia, can you tell me a few things about yourself,
Sure.
please?
I'm 14. I'm in the 3rd grade of junior high. And in my free time, I like to do quite a lot of activities and sports. My main sports are beach volleyball and volleyball, but I also like basketball.
And how long have you been playing volleyball?
For approximately 10 years.
10 years?
Yes.
Oh, that's a lot. And would you like to be a professional volleyball player?
I'd really enjoy to do that in my future, but I don't really know, because I also like biology, and I would like to be a marine biologist.
Marine biologist, okay. But what do you like so much about volleyball?
The fact that it can keep you in shape really easily, and it has a variety of different activities and exercises in the sport. And also, not only to play, but to watch it. It's really interesting if you watch it.
Right. What about you? What's your name?
My name's John. I'm 14 years old. I'm an 8th grade student at Unitas Middle School. In my free time, I usually listen to music, metal music, hang out with my friends, or play video games. I've been playing water polo at Panionios for almost 4 years now. Right.
And how did you decide to take up water polo?
In the past, I did swimming. Eventually, I decided that it was quite boring, if I do say so myself. So I took up something that is quite similar to swimming, but it's also a bit more energetic.
Okay.
Has a lot more movement in it, which is water polo.
Not just doing laps?
Yeah, not just back and forth in a pool.
Right. And would you like to be a professional water polo player?
I haven't considered it yet. I might become, I might not. But right now, I also want to become a marine biologist when I grow up.
Right, so we've got 2 marine biologists at the same table. Right. Right. And so, what else do you enjoy doing in your free time, John?
Hanging out with my friends around Athens. Places like Plaka, Omonia, Nesmini Square. Eating at restaurants. Going to arcades, or watching movies together.
Right, nice, very nice. What about you, Georgia? What do you and your friends like to do together?
We mostly stroll around Thysio, Plaka, Exarchia, and Monastiraki Square. We also like to go for drinks and something to eat, usually.
Okay. And how do you choose the places that you eat at?
Mostly the price, but we also take into consideration the quality of the food, of course. And we usually eat out at like American restaurants or Italian restaurants.
Okay, right. What about you, John? You and your friends, what kind of food do you like eating together?
Mostly American food or Asian, maybe sometimes Greek or Italian. We also decide on restaurants based on how far it is from the place that we're at right now, because if there's not a public transport nearby, it will be very exhausting to get there, especially if it's really far. The quality of the food also plays a huge part in the decision we make, also the price.
Right. And do you have your favorite place to eat at?
Not really. Every restaurant that sells good food is definitely a definite choice for us.
Right. And do you have a favorite place to eat at?
Not really. It's just like what's closest to the location we're at.
All right. Right. The reason I'm asking is that for stage 2, the 2 of you work for a popular restaurant, and your restaurant needs to hire a new head chef for its new location. You are on the selection committee and 4 candidates have made it to the final selection process. Each of you will be given descriptions of 2 of the 4 candidates, and you will need to describe the 2 candidates you're given to the other member of the committee so that you both know about all 4 candidates. Your goal is to know about all 4 candidates, right? So first you will have time to look at the options, and then you will have an opportunity to explain your options to your partner. You don't need to memorize any of the information, and you can take notes on the forms that you've got in front of you if you wish. At this time, you may not look at each other's papers. Do you have any questions?
No.
No? Right, so I've got 2 options for you, John, and I've got 2 different options for you, Georgia.
Thank you.
You can now take about 2 minutes to read through them silently. Now, each of you will explain the information that you have been given. So, John, you will talk about your 2 options, and Georgia, you will talk about your 2 options. Do not just read the list of features, use your own words. Also, listen closely as your partner shares information with you, because later you will need to recommend one of their options. Are there any questions?
No.
No?
No.
Who would like to go first?
Would you like to go first?
Okay. My first option is John Green, who has been cooking at a restaurant for 12 years. His specialization is Italian cuisine, and he's also managed a family restaurant in the past. A popular American chef has trained him and taught him and passed on his skills to him. He has great cooperation skills, and he's also been awarded the Chicago's Best Pizza Award, but he does not comply with food sanitation regulations. The other option is Lisa Taylor, who has 7 years of professional experience. Her dishes consist of several cooking styles from around the world. Her specialization is vegetarian menus. She has studied cooking in India. She has the ability to maintain calm under pressure. She is the author for a cooking magazine, but she often quarrels with customers.
Thank you. Georgia, out of the 2 options that you've just heard, which one would you recommend? Just the name for now, you can explain your reasons later.
John Green.
John Green. Right, so you can now proceed with your 2 options.
Okay. So my first option is Mary Melton. She has been a hotel cook for 8 years. She also knows how to blend Latin and American flavors in her dishes. She has previously planned menus for hospitals. She's also really accommodating to special orders. She is a certified nutritionist, and also she has written a best-selling cookbook. But the only downside to her is that she exceeds budget consistently. My second option is Mark Stevens. He has 10 years of experience as a restaurant chef. His specialty is French cuisine, and he has also worked in 3 countries. He has studied in a culinary school which is quite famous, and he only uses local ingredients in his dishes. Not to mention that he has been voted as the best chef in Boston, but the only downside to him is that he has been criticized for being quite slow.
Thank you. Now, John, out of the 2 options you've just had, which one would you recommend? Please just give the name for now. You can explain the reasons later.
Mark Stevens.
Mark Stevens. Thank you. So now, you've both had the chance to look over the information and to explain it, and you have your partner's recommendation. You now need to choose one of the options from the choices on your own paper. Think of the reasons why you believe that this is the best option. Remember, there is no correct option, and you do not have to choose the option that that was recommended by your partner. So, have you each made a decision?
Yes.
Yes? Georgia, please tell me the name of the option you chose.
Mark Stevens.
Mark Stevens. And John?
John Green.
John Green. Thank you. Now, for stage 3, working together. You need to compare and contrast the 2 options that you have chosen. So, Georgia, you have chosen Mark Stevens, and John, you have chosen John Green, right? Now, you need to further narrow down the decision. Together, you should discuss the advantages and disadvantages of each option. Your goal is to come to an agreement on just one option. You should discuss and explain the reasons for your decision and why those reasons are important. You may still not look at each other's information sheets, and again, remember, there is no correct answer. Are there any questions?
No.
No? So you can discuss things together now.
Okay, so as we know, there's a 2-year difference between the experience of our chefs. And I believe that it's not as important. Like, I don't think you can learn that much in 2 years as you can like 10. If they had a bigger difference, it would have been more important for our decision. What do you think about that?
I actually kind of disagree with you, because I think that even though it might not seem that big of a difference, like 2 years, a lot of stuff might have happened, and all of that stuff that has happened, all of those events, have translated into extra knowledge, and he has maybe learned more, or maybe from some of the mistakes that he has made. So I think that makes him a better cook and a bit more experienced as a person.
Okay.
Which I think is good for the restaurant.
I can see your point actually in that, and I've actually changed my mind. I quite agree with your opinion. There's obviously a massive difference between the type of cuisine that they specialize in. I think that even though Italian cuisine is more mainstream nowadays, having a French chef in our restaurant can attract quite a lot of popularity, because it's not something that's really popular nowadays.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Kind of agree with you, because I think that this that something mainstream might not attract as many customers as something that's not really seen nowadays.
Yes.
And I think because of that variety that the French cuisine provided, could help the restaurant become more popular.
Yes, I agree with you.
And provide us with more income.
What else do you have to say about our 2 candidates?
John Green has also been trained by a popular American chef himself, rather than going to a culinary school, which means he has been trained on a one-on-one kind of method. And I think this is better than going to a culinary school, because he has directly been passed the knowledge of his teacher, the American chef, which he might have also focused better on him, rather than going to school and different classes, which might have been exhausting for him.
I agree with you.
Or somebody.
Because when you have a one-on-one with somebody, you've already mentioned that the knowledge is better passed on. But also, if you make a mistake, he will immediately correct it, and it will be a learning point for you. But some people may consider it to be harder. I can agree with this, because one-on-one is definitely harder than going to a culinary school with at least like 10 other people in the same class. But it will help you in the long run.
Yeah, because of that directionist and
yes.
that of providing information. John Green has also won an award in regarding his cuisine, the Best Beach Award, which I think justifies for how good he's doing. He's cooking these kind of dishes.
I agree with you, but Mark Stevens has also been voted the best chef in Boston, which can be like quite beneficial for a restaurant. He has already been nominated for an award, so he has already had some type of popularity, I think.
I think that I agree with you there. So I think that being voted as chef in an overall more bigger area, rather than just your kind of one dish, is more important. It like proves that you're good at doing more dishes than one.
I agree with you on that one, but he has only been voted the best pizza award, not the best Italian food. But Mark Stevens has been voted the best chef, so in general for all of his cooking.
Yeah, it's more of a safe option for us.
Yes, I agree with you.
It's more certain.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing though, that I'm noticing with John Green is something negative. That his cooking does not comply with food sanitation regulations, which I think is bad, because if the authorities find that out, it's something that can be solved in many ways.
Mm-hmm.
And because if it doesn't get solved, we might have to close down the restaurant because of
I
the
agree with
authorities. Well,
If we decide on hiring John Green, we'll need to have clear communication with him that he has to change his sanitation practices. Due to the fact that, as you said, if somebody comes to check our restaurant, our whole business will close down for one chef only.
But I think that's something irreversible. We can teach him how to properly
Yes, I agree with you.
Agree to the terms.
Mm-hmm. But Mark Stevens has been criticized for being quite slow, which will be a really big disadvantage to our restaurant, especially during busy times, like dinner time especially, because if he's slow and cannot manage to get the food orders in quickly, and that will be a whole downgrade to our restaurant's quality.
Yeah, people might also get angry at you and leave the restaurant without even buying anything.
I agree with you.
I'm noticing that John Green also has great cooperation skills and can work well with others, which I think is something really important in the kitchen, because if you can't cooperate and communicate properly with other people that are working in the same space as you, things won't go very well.
I agree with you. Being a chef means that you need to have clear communication skills and know how to take and give orders as well with your fellow chefs in the kitchen. That's all, I think. And I think we've reached a decision.
Have you? Okay, so you've decided on?
John Green.
John Green, right. So now, for stage 4, you need to formally present the option you have chosen to Miss Constantina, who's the general manager of the restaurant. Okay, so you will need to present the option you selected and 4 main reasons for choosing that option based on the information on your sheet. You will each need to present 2 reasons and explain why those reasons are important. Your goal is to convince the general manager of the restaurant that the option you chose is the best. Okay? And after your presentation, she will ask you some questions about your final decision. So you can now take 2 to 3 minutes to work together and plan which reasons you will each present. You must use English during this planning stage, and you may now look at each other's papers. Do you want me to take this one away? Thank you. Do you have any questions?
No.
No? So now take some time to plan your presentation.
Okay, so I think the points that are most beneficial for presenting John Green.
It should be something important. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think his experience, obviously, that's something that everybody will want to know. His specialty as well.
Which is Italian cuisine with something really mainstream, really popular nowadays.
And also this can be paired well with the fact that he has been awarded the
Chicago's Best Pizza Award. Something that justifies this thing.
Yes. And also...
Be trained by popular American chef, I think, would be good also, because it shows that he has been passed information and his teacher skills one-on-one.
I agree with you on that one. So, which 2 of the 4 do you want?
I think I'm gonna pick a restaurant cook for 12 years and train by popular American chef. And you can choose specialize in Italian cuisine and the Best Pizza Award, because they pair good together.
Yes, I agree with you.
They essentially form one point.
Yes.
And one can support the other. So that's it.
So I think we're ready.
You're ready? So I'd like to introduce you to the general manager of the restaurant.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I understand that you have reached a decision and are prepared to give me a recommendation.
Yes.
Who will begin?
I will go ahead and begin.
All right.
Okay, so out of the 4 candidates that we've looked over, I think everybody was a really great option, but the best option, in our personal opinion, is John Green. He specializes in Italian cuisine, which recently Italian cuisine has been considered as mainstream and really popular. So it will help our restaurant and business gain popularity and become more famous. He also has won Chicago's Best Pizza Award, which means that he has already been under the spotlight and gained some popularity personally, which will attract a lot of visitors and diners to our restaurant, which will be really beneficial because once they know who our chef is, maybe some food critics can come in and give us positive reviews or maybe even feedback for things that we can change about the service, the cooking, etc. And here's my colleague, which he will explain the rest of the reasons.
Right.
Okay. John Green has been a restaurant cook for 12 years, which, at least in my opinion, proves that he's a good chef. And all of those extra years of experience have also added up to his skill. And I think, at least in my opinion, that he's kind of a safe option because of his years of experience, and proves that he is really actually good at doing his job. He's also being trained by a popular American chef, and one-on-one, which means that his teacher skills have been directly passed on to him, and his also extra information that might have also been passed on to him. And yeah, I think that this style of method in general will also help you out in the long term in the future, because yeah, you've been directly passed on the skills and the things that your teacher has in mind directly onto you. I think that directness also is a factor for the safe option, which is John Green.
All right. Thank you both for your answers. You have presented some very interesting reasons for your selection. For the final stage, I have a few questions to ask. So I will start with you, Georgia. You mentioned that John Green specializes in Italian cuisine, and that he has won Chicago's Best Pizza Award. As you said, this sounds a bit mainstream. Okay, I'm not really sure. The fact that he specializes in Italian cuisine is what we're looking for here. I mean, of course, we want to have a popular restaurant, okay? But we're talking about a new location here. So I have in mind something like more unique. What do you think about that?
I agree with your concerns, and that's obvious. If we go and put like an Italian restaurant in a city filled to the brim with other Italian restaurants, the competition will be really high, and also the expectations. And I think that our chef will not have the light he deserves in the world of Italian cuisine. So that's why I think that a solution to this problem that you've mentioned is that we can go ahead and put the location in a place where not many Italian restaurants are based, and include a diversity of dishes, not only Italian food, because as we've mentioned previously, he has also been trained by an American chef, so he will know how to at least make a different style of cuisine other than Italian. So that this variety will prove to be really important for the business later on.
All right, thank you. And I have a question for you, John, as well. You mentioned that John Green has been a restaurant cook for 12 years, right? Okay, the fact that he has been a cook for 12 years, it doesn't make him a chef. I mean, a chef involves other characteristics, other qualities. He knows how to run a business. He has leadership skills. A chef, a cook doesn't.
Just because he's a cook doesn't mean that he can't be taught the other things that a chef does. And also that his experience also provides a certainty for a restaurant that will surely attract a lot of customers. And yeah, I think that his skill and overall the things about business managing that we could potentially teach him will eventually lead to his upgrade, let's say, to a chef. You basically get a degree up. So I don't really think that it's a problem.
All right. Thank you for your presentation. Your reasons will be taken into consideration before a final decision is made. This is the end of the speaking test.